you ever noticed pivots running alongside the road as you drive by? There are 4 major brands out there on the market today. All 4 of them are made right here in Nebraska. The one I'm going to talk about today is Rinke, made in Deschler, Nebraska. Pivots are essential to many people's livelihood to ensure crop and put food on everyone's table. Pivots are a big investment to a farming operation, but before you set your mind to a certain brand, you should look into getting a Rinke pivot. I have spent a good portion of my farming career around all 4 types of pivots. I am currently in the process of getting my Rinke Platinum Plus certification and currently work for All Seasons Ag, which is a Rinke dealer in Fairfield, Nebraska. When searching for your next irrigation system, you should consider a Rinke system. Today I'm going to explain what makes a Rinke pivot different and better for your farming operation compared to the competitors. First, I'll tell you about the structural advantages of a pivot. Next will be about the industry-leading technology that their pivot panels have. And finally, the customer support that Rinke backs their products with. Let's get started with the most important design elements that make Rinke pivots different than the other competitors. There are many obvious differences that anyone can pick up while looking at a Rinke pivot. First is on their tower. They use just a single beam design. According to MinstarCompany.com 2012, the C channel absorbs more stress at the tower instead of transferring it to the water pipe like a double leg design tower does. It also cuts down on the weight per span by having less material to support. And cutting weight means an increase in flotation and less soil compaction, and this in return makes your pivot tracks not as deep. Also, by experience, I have noticed that these tower bases between the 2 wheels are longer, and it increases the stability of the pivot. And with only a single beam tower, it is narrower and does not affect taller crops like corn as much. Next, while all the other competitors use a ball and socket design, Rinke uses a hook and receiver joint to attach the spans together. This is an internal joint, which you can see here and here. It is inside the pipe itself. At first you might think that it will restrict water flow, and it does a little bit on flat ground. And according to Minstar Company, again 2012, the internal joint actually doubles pressure drop per joint at 0.25% instead of your external joints at 0.1%. But how many fields are level across the country? Not very many. At a 15% slope, it actually helps the water move more freely through the pivot. For the competitors' joints, the flow would have a 1% pressure drop per joint, while the hook and receiver joint would stay consistent at 0.25%. And this was Minstar Company 2012. They achieved this by the way the joint allows the rubber boot to flex instead of buckling or creasing when being unleveled. Just like the structural aspect, the main panel or brain of the pivot system is all above others in this. Rinke offers multiple panels, unlike the rest of the competition, to make sure you get what you need for the field. The RPM, or Rinke Precision Management Standard Panel, which is this one, is what the average person needs. According to Rinke.com 2013, this panel includes speed controls, directional options, start, stop, and pressure control, and the ability to shut the end gun off from the panel. These are all the basic controls that most farmers around the world will need to run and control their pivot with. But if you're in adverse conditions, they make one for the more advanced farmer, and this is the fully touchscreen panel, which is there. It is the only full touchscreen one in the industry. It takes away almost all the guesswork involved by showing exact amounts. This allows you to use variable rate irrigation to precisely apply the right amount of water to certain parts of the field. And then according to Renke Technology Products Brochure 2012, you can apply chemicals and fertilizer, program multiple end gun points, and it also stores a whole year's worth of information to be transferred to your computer, and it still includes all the controls of your standard panel. Finally, you already know the structural and technology advantages of a Renke pivot. The final reason to buy a Renke pivot is for their customer support. For a company to be the top company of a product, they also have to have an industry-leading customer support to back their products. Renke does just this. According to usubc.org 2010, Renke has introduced a industry-leading 10-year, 10,000-hour full replacement warranty on all their electric drive gearboxes. This is a 2-year, 2,000-hour warranty over all the competitors' drives. If you already have a pivot in the field that does not have this extended warranty on, you can go ahead and talk to your local dealer and get this extended warranty. And then since Renke is located in Deshler, Nebraska, they're almost at the center of the United States, which makes it handy since it's where most of the pivots are at. And then at multiple times a year, they're the only pivot company to offer service schools to teach you about how to run and construct their pivots to their full potential. They also have many dealers spread throughout the Midwest and world to provide parts, service, and advice to keep Renke pivots one of the top. Of course, there are many more reasons why Renke is one of the top manufacturers of pivots in the world. From the structure to technology to the backing and customer support behind the product, this is what makes Renke irrigation systems different than anyone else. So before you set your mind on a pivot company, make sure you look into a Renke pivot. So you might be surprised that this can be and is one of the top shops for all your pivot needs and wants. Thanks.